And we are live. It's good to see everybody, man. Got a full house tonight. Awesome to see everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And we are just about live on YouTube. Have a big following on YouTube. Awesome to see everyone. Whoops. Let me turn that off. A little bit of delay there. And we are going to get started. It is 8 o'clock. Welcome to our training. We had a great training last night. If you did not see that, go to our YouTube channel. Also, go to, let's see here. I want to type in this box here. Let me see. I want to make sure everybody gets this. HTTPS Facebook.com/Beacon Funnels. That's our Facebook page. Go to our Facebook page. Follow us on Facebook. Everything I do, I post on that page. And so we want to, if you want to stay in touch there and or Kerry Miller TV, everything goes up there. The trainings go up there. And so very, very excited what's happening, what's going on. Tonight, we're going to go into the Beacon platform. We're going to talk about the Beacon platform. And but before we do that, let me see here. I screwed that one up. I need to go back the other way. I was at the end of the show. Let me restart the screen. Can everybody see my screen okay? That's the most important thing of the evening. Can everybody see my screen okay? It says the Beacon platform. Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to get rolling here. Welcome to the event. And if you have not, and hopefully you have, turn up your speakers and clear all distractions. You know, there's one thing I find when I'm watching a training or a webinar. The number one thing that gets in my way, and it's usually at the time that I usually miss something really important, is when I've got my phone on. So turn off your phone. Turn it on silent. If somebody needs you really bad, they'll call you 4 or 5 times and you'll see it flashing. But that way it doesn't distract you. Turn off your text messages. This is important. And the reason this is important is this is your business. My business is flourishing. I want to help your business flourish. And I want to teach you the things that you need to do to make your business flourish. So just clear everything out. Kick the kids outside. Doesn't matter how cold it is. They'll warm up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was going to say throw your dog outside, but my dog is sleeping behind me in a big old blanket because it's kind of cool here. So she gets pretty well taken care of. Real quick, Kerry Miller TV, Beacon Funnels, nor I cannot guarantee just because you're watching this webinar, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person has different work ethics and different desires. Real quick, I want to go over something. This is probably the most confusing question that is out there, and I'm sure it's because I have not made it clear. So I've created a few diagrams here to show you what happens if you order multiple beacons. Some people order 1, some people order 9, some people have ordered 50. So I just want to make sure that you understand that each beacon can be an individual client. How many beacons do you need for yourself? That's the first question you have to ask. So when you purchase your beacons, and me personally, I keep 1 beacon with me. Everywhere I go, I keep a beacon because if I have the opportunity to show this program to a business, I take it. I don't mince any words. I go for the gusto. I want to show them what I have because I'm excited about it, for one. Number 2, I know it can help their business. So I am always prepared to do a demonstration, and I've always got a beacon with me, and I usually keep it in my pants pocket or if I'm carrying a briefcase or something like that. But when I walk into that business, I walk into a beacon in one hand and cell phone in the other. So how many beacons do you need for yourself? I just need 1. I have some around the house that I do testing with, but I just need 1 beacon, and I usually use the beacon that I carry with me to do tests. 2, if you buy the multiple beacon pack, what can you do with the excess beacons? You don't have to have all those beacons for yourself. every beacon can literally go to a client. And if you was on the webinar last night, we had a very, very, very good training last night. And for everybody that sent me all the nice accolades after the training, thank you. But we had a great training last night where we only sold one beacon. And we're going to actually show you tonight. I'm going to go live into a customer that joined up yesterday. And he's not received his beacon yet. So I'm going to do some things that'll kind of surprise him when he gets his beacon tomorrow. But so we're going to talk about what happens if you buy a bunch of beacons. What if you buy the 9-pack or the 6-pack? You know, what are you going to do with the rest of those beacons? Well, let's just take a look at the 3-pack here. So if you buy a 3-pack and you only need one beacon, and that's going to be your beacon. You're going to hang on to it. You're going to set it up. You're going to use it for yourself. The only business you have is this business. Now, maybe if you have a business that you're dealing with, maybe you're going to use all 3 of them and you bought a 6-pack. But let's just, and just take these numbers out across here if you have more than 3 beacons. So you've got one for you. And let's say that you go out and you hit 2 small businesses. Okay, there's a difference between a small business that needs 1 and a medium business that needs 2 or 3. And that's the size of the store. And are you sending the signals through racks or clothes or whatever? That always depends on how many beacons you need. But in this case, we're going to say that customer 2 is going to get 1 of your beacons. So that's 1 beacon for you, 1 beacon for customer 2. And the 3rd beacon is going to go to a 3rd customer. So there is no more, if you go out and get more customers, this $45, the $15 a month for these 3 beacons does not change. You're still paying $45 a month. You're collecting your residual and your recurring from the additional beacons that you sell. So let's take, for example, you purchased these 3 beacons and they cost you $45 a month plus whatever you paid for the beacons, okay? But let's just look at the recurring money. Does everybody follow me so far when I talk about recurring monthly income? We're not going to talk about the beacon cost. The beacon costs vary just a little bit, just depending on what beacons you buy. But I want to talk about the monthly recurring fees, okay? So on a 3-pack, it's $15, $15, and $15. Well, you're going to keep this one for yourself. So that $15 is the cost of doing business, just the way it is. You know, I wish I could spend $15 just for the cost of doing business. But that's the cost of doing business. That's your beacon. So now you've got 2 beacons left, and you're going to go to customer 2, and you're going to go to customer 3. Each one of them only need 1 beacon. So you're going to charge them for the beacon, $50, $75, whatever your cost is for the beacon. But on the recurring, okay, you're going to charge them, if your cost is $50, I always say double it, $30 a month. For 1 beacon, I would charge somewhere around $45 to $50 a month, okay? So let's just take a nice round number of $50 a month. You've got 1 beacon here. This belongs to you. You got this beacon, and you charge for the beacons. And now you're going to charge a monthly recurring of $50 a month. These 2 beacons net you $100. Okay. These 2 beacons net you. So out of the gate, you have recouped your money on your beacon cost. You are $85 ahead on your monthly recurring, okay? Because you sold these 2 beacons. Does everybody follow what I'm saying there? And if everybody on the call would just say yes, because I don't want to lose anybody. And I do this every day, so it's easy for me to sit here and look at those numbers and know exactly what I'm talking about. Just throw a yes in the chat box there that you follow me. That's important to me because I don't want to leave anybody out. And I've got a couple of yeses, a 3rd yes, 10 yeses. Yeses are flying in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so is there anybody that doesn't understand what I just said here about what I'm talking about? You buy the 3-pack. Your cost is $45. You sold these 2 for $50. That's $100 net profit on your monthly recurring. I mean, gross profit minus the $15 for your own. So you got $85 net profit recurring right out of the gate. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't think you have to be a superstar salesperson. I don't think you have to be some worldly wizard to go out and sell a beacon to a business. It pretty much sells itself if you go through the process that we did last night. Why do I know that? Because I've sold over 600 beacons using that process from last night. Okay, over 600 beacons from using that process last night. And I'm not talking about folks like you here that are resellers in the program and you're purchasing beacons and I'm talking about to individual customers, over 600 beacons, okay, using that process. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, here we have one beacon and we go to a customer and they need two beacons. So you're still got your one beacon, and your second and third beacon go to your next, to one customer. Now, maybe on this deal, you did a 45 and a 45 or a 40 and a 40, whatever your cost is, okay, plus the beacons. So you still walk away with a net profit, okay, every single month. So if you did 40 and 40, that's 80. So you walk away with a $65 net profit per month. Immediately when you get rid of those two beacons, you're automatically in the net profit, okay? And both of these go to the same customer. Now, this is very important, and this is probably one of the parts that I did not explain, or maybe we were just putting this in the process when you came on board as a reseller for the Beacon Funnels program. Each customer, so let's say this is one customer. Each customer gets his own control panel, just like the control panel you're fixing to see, with his own username and password. Now, we've got a form that you fill out. It goes through our, golly, I forgot the name again. It goes through our processing system, and but there's no cost to you. Okay, there's zero cost to you. So you can do one of two things. You can say, hey, just set them up as an admin. I'm charging them to do everything. Or set them up. I'm going to teach them how to use this. The great places to teach people how to use that is real estate companies, because real estate companies are going to make a lot of changes. They usually have an admin person in the office. So you're going to give them full access to the platform, just like you do. You are going to be able to charge them for that. It's zero cost to you. That additional platform doesn't cost you a penny. Okay, you can charge for that. That's one of your upsells. That's one of the ways that you can bring in additional income. Okay, so does everybody understand that? You will have, when you let me know, say, hey, Carrie, I've got a customer that needs a platform. We're going to send you a link, and we're getting ready to put that link on our website. Each customer gets his own control panel with a username. You're the one that receives the information. Okay, when you order this, you receive the information. Why? Because you don't want it coming from Carrie at Beacon Funnels. You want it coming from Angelica, okay, at whatever your company name is. So you get a platform that you're able to sell to them that is exactly like the platform you have, that you can see all the stats and all the information in. Now, if you don't want them to have access to anything, you just keep those beacons in your platform. But I recommend that you set them up a platform and you control the username and password, okay? And if they change that, get access to it. So it's you and the customers. Also, each customer, one customer, gets his own mobile business card. Texting is extra. We talked about that last night in the training. We are just a couple of days away from everybody on that's already a reseller of receiving their mobile business card, just a couple of days away. Unless you build your own or have your own platform that you're using, we're just a couple of days away where you're going to be able to build the mobile business card for your clients and also set up the texting for your clients. If you have somebody that's ready to do that now, we can work around and I can help you set that up, and don't lose any money because of that. I've got a couple of people that I'm already setting up business cards and texting for already until we bring this last piece of the puzzle out this week. So does everybody understand that? Each customer, not each person in the office. Now, if let's say you have a real estate office and you've got 5 realtors in there, and all 5 realtors want their own business card, their own platform, and are purchasing their own beacons. You have the opportunity to set that up for them, and each one of those customers will get a platform, will get a business card, and have the opportunity to have texting included in that. Texting, I'm telling you, is a must for this funnel. If you're not going to set up texting, there's no use even setting up a business card. You're just basically going to go out and set up a beacon program. And as many of you know that's already been in this business, there's more to a beacon than just a beacon program. All right. Any questions on that at all? Just real quick. If you bought a 3-pack, you can go out and sell to 2 different customers. You can go out and sell to 1 customer. Each customer gets his own control panel and username, and that's at your discretion. If you want to sell that, I recommend you selling that and making money on that. And each customer will get a business card. You will have access to build them a business card and set up texting for them. And now we're going to go into the platform. Any questions at all on what we just talked about? Anybody at all? I want to get that out there real quick so that we can move on. Excuse me. Let me get a drink. So I don't choke to death. Okay. I am going to stop the share of that. I'm going to drop that screen down. Excuse me, dang. Lo and behold. Okay, let me bring up this screen. Can everybody see the platform here? Can everybody see the platform? Yes. Okay. This is your dashboard. This is a quick overview. And this is a great example. This is the reason I wanted to use this example. This is a One Beacon owner. Okay. I've already sent him the information on his platform. He's going to get his platform. He's got his own login. Okay. Shows his account. Doesn't show anybody else's information. This is his platform, and he's paying for this each month. Okay. And you're probably going to say, well, Kerry, what are they paying for that? And I'll go ahead and tell you, I charge $99 a month for the platform. Okay. That's $99 a month. That's recurring every month. And that's above and beyond the whatever you're getting for the beacons. Okay. So that's $99 additional a month for the platform. Okay. And I don't have anybody blink at that. So if you're wondering, man, is that going to be too much for a business? No, it's not. Okay. Next thing, we're going to look at places. This is very, very important. When you go in and set up a place, this is the place where the beacon is actually going to be. Okay. You can even see here on the Google map, there's Ed's Beds. Okay. That landed right on top of his business. And that's where the beacon's going to be. If you put multiple beacons in a business, and let me just blow this up. Let's say that you're putting one here by the door. This drags. So if you set up multiple places, if you come in and he had multiple beacons, I would set up multiple places inside of his control panel. It may be Ed Beds 1 or Ed Beds door, Ed Beds pillows, wherever these beacons are going to be located. They're all going to be at the same address. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this to where, let's say that the pillow section is over here. I'm going to drag that over to where the pillow section is, and you can see the lat and long changes. That's a great way to distinguish between your beacons when you go into your analytics, okay? And so you have your multiple beacons in this store. You could have one here. You could have one back here by the mattresses. You could have one over here with the sheets. You could have one over here with the whatever, okay, whatever else goes with a bed. His store is very small, so he's going to be broadcasting from the center of his store, okay? Any questions on places at all? Any questions on places? So we've got our place set up. Now we're going to come down to the beacon. We're going to go into the beacon, and when you go into the beacon, you want to make sure that that beacon is set up with the place that you want to set it up. Now, if I had multiple places in here, maybe I had Ed's bed, pillows, Ed bed's mattresses, Ed bed's shams, okay? I would select which beacon that goes to, because that's going to correlate to where I place it on this map. Okay, it will correlate to where I place it on this map. So that way, once again, my beacons are in the exact spot, the lat and long. All my analytical data is very clean, and I'm able to distinguish and see the place that most people are going, the places people aren't going. And you can literally look at this data and say, and go back to your client and say, you know what, Ed? I noticed that nobody goes to the left back corner of your store where the pillows are. Do you know why that is? Well, you know, it's kind of out of the way. It's got some things that's in front of it. They probably can't see it. Well, let me show you what's happening. They're not, your pillow purchases are probably down because of that. They're going over here and they're buying pillowcases because they've already got pillows, but they don't see the pillows over here. So I'm able to literally, from his analytics, go in and help him change his store to where it's more conducive to increase his revenues. And that's extremely important. There's one thing I tell people all the time. I've been in mobile marketing for a long time, and I tell mobile people that mobile market, you're not an app builder. Okay, you are a marketing expert. You're going in there as a marketing consultant. You're just not a one-off, okay, I built your app, here it is, and we're gone. Same way with beacons. You are their consultant. You want them to do very well with their program. Why? Because they're paying you every month, okay, upwards to $200 or $300 a month. They're paying you. Maybe $500 to $1,000 a month, depending on what you set up with them and what your prices are. Not only that, you want them to continue to pay you. And that's the most important thing about consulting. That's why consultants make so much money. I can promise you, consultants make 10 times what an app builder makes. Consultants make 10 times what a one-off beacon salesman makes. 10 times. Why? Because you get that recurring income and you're showing your clients exactly what's going on. So you're able to sit here and say, and you sit down once a week or once a month or after maybe 2 months of sales, and you go back to Ed and you say, Ed, you got a problem over here, my friend. No one is going over to the pillows. Well, it's kind of cluttered. You know, Ed, you need to move the clutter out if you want to sell pillows. And or you need to make sure you direct people over to those pillows while they're in your store. I'm very anxious to see this model, okay? Because right now he's got about 12 customers a month. I'm tracking this very close. I'm using this as a study on a one beacon process, okay? So we've got our place set up. Now we've got our beacon set up, and we've got it connected to the right place. A couple of things I want to show you here. This is where this is very, very important right here, where you track your battery information. You want to keep an eye on that. For instance, his battery is turned up. Okay. I mean, his transmit power is turned up. So his batteries are going to deteriorate a little bit faster. Okay, if the average on a beacon is about 50 feet, okay, and you turn it up to 150 feet will get you 2 years on batteries. 100 feet is going to get you a year. 150 feet is going to get you about 6 or 7 months. So the more power you use, the more battery life you use. Okay, for a lot of stores, it's only going to be about 20 or 30 feet. But we turned it up. Why? Because it's one beacon. Right here is your markdown card. Now, we're going to be using a markdown card with this, but someone has asked me about a custom URL, so I just want to show you here real quick. You can place a custom URL on this beacon. It doesn't have to be the markdown card. Maybe you're doing some special stuff inside of the mobile business card that you have that you're building for them, okay? And you want to use the mobile business card. Well, you just simply select custom URL and put the URL of that business card in this box right here. This is your Eddystone, okay? This is your Eddystone URL. But for this instance, we're going to use the markdown card, all right? And this is what a markdown card looks like. It's just a simple mobile web page. And you're able to go in here and you can put some click-to-call stuff and able to direct them. As you know, what we want to do is we want to send them into our mobile business card so that what? So that we can collect their information and build their list. All right. So we're going to use the markdown card. All right. We're going to use the markdown card that's built in the system. Now, in Google Nearby notifications, this is your UID. This is what actually works through. You don't have to go to, but the Google dashboard, okay? This is set up and used through the Google dashboard. UID, this portion right here, Google Nearby notifications, only works with Android phones. UID does not transmit to the iPhone. The URL, the physical web campaign, that transmits to iPhone and Android. Google Nearby only goes to the Android phone. Now here you can use a web URL, okay? And because you've got the markdown card set right here, we have what's called hard-baked URLs that are programmed inside of your apps. You do not have to go and physically change those URLs using an app inside of these beacons, okay? What you have to do is you have to come to your system, and you can do this from anywhere in the world. I can control beacons from anywhere in the world. If a customer calls me and says, hey, Kerry, I'd like to change this markdown card. I don't have time. What do you charge me? I charge you $49. Okay, I'm going to email you the information. Could you change it for me? I can literally go in and create that markdown card and attach it to the URL that's hard baked into your beacon that is attached to the platform. And each beacon has its own individual URL, okay? So in this case, for Google Nearby notifications, I'm going to use the same thing. Now, what we're going to do for Google notifications, because the title and description are a little bit different. They don't work off the title and description of the Eddystone URL. So here we're going to put Ed's Beds. All right. Get 25% off this Saturday. And now we're going to put a description in here. Full-size mattress. $25% off this Saturday only. Of course, you'd put a date in there, and I'm just doing this for time's sake. Okay? So now we're going to use the web URL. We're going to drive them through the Google notifications, and we're also going to do the same thing up here with the markdown card. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the markdown card, and you see right here it says half price happy hour. We're going to come in and change that, because Ed's not doing a half price happy hour. We're going to put the same thing right here, 25% off bedding this Saturday. All right. And here I'm going to come in, and this is what you see now. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put Ed's logo. I'm going to take that out. Now, if you're, matter of fact, let me take all this out. We don't need it in there. If you're starting from scratch, you just create a new markdown card, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So we're going to add a logo. Let me find it here. We're going to start off, we're going to put Ed's Beds up there. Now, his logo, I haven't resized this yet, so this logo needs to be resized, but I just want to show you here that you can put something up there. And or I can come in, and I can put a bed in there. And this is going to be skewed also. Okay, and there's the mattress. Okay, so if you'll see the size here, that's about a 300 by 500. Okay, so you'll want to make your images about a 300 wide by 500, and then put your imaging inside of that. So we're going to say Ed's Beds, and we want to make this a header. Now, I want to show you something here real quick. Header 1 is 1 hashtag. 2 hashtags is header 2. We can go 3. Okay. 4. And you can change the size of your headers. All right. And you can, but you can also click on it right here. Header 1, header 2. And that is just simply the size of the text. All right. Now we've got our image in there. Now we're going to put simply 25% off. Saturday. Must. This is very important that this is on here. This is what pushes your Beacon program, okay? And the one thing you want to do is get people looking at their notifications every time they walk into a business. Eventually, it gets to where their marketing budget for local marketing starts going down because of the viral share and the excitement of knowing that I can go to Ed's Bed, okay, and look at my notifications and get the specials. 25% off this Saturday. We're just going to leave that normal text. Must show notification. All right. And maybe we come down here and we put another image. And we come in, we got our mattress, and now he also does no credit needed, so we can put a no credit image in here. And we have built the card that is attached to, let me save this. That is attached to this beacon, which is attached to this hard-coded URL. So it's going to go out via Google Nearby Notifications. And it's also going to go out via physical web, the Eddystone URL. Okay? You can create as many markdown cards as you want. And you can use these for, if you had 3 beacons, we would use 3 different markdown cards for 3 different beacons. Okay. 3 different markdown cards for 3 different beacons. Any questions on setting up a markdown card? These are also markdown being, you know, it's a markdown product. It's a product on sale, informational card, whatever you want to call it. Any question on the markdown cards? Any question on setting up places? Any questions on setting up places? Let's talk about forms real quick. Forms are really, really cool, okay? And you're able to come in, once again, you can create as many forms as you want. You know, maybe this is, how did you like our sale? And maybe this is the last notification as they walk out the door. All right. Type short text, long text, multiple choice. And this is going to be the fields. You can add as many fields as you want. Okay. Multiple choice, required. Yes. Question 1. Great. Good. Okay. All right. And I add that. And my computer's froze up. You can add other options. The beacons in the store are placed at departments, etc., not walking around. What if they are walking around with the beacon? When you say walking around with the beacon, give me an example. Give me an example when you say, what if they are walking around with a beacon? If someone, here's the thing with beacons, and this is the thing that people need to understand, okay? And let me use this example of a concert I went to. And that's a great question because there's so much BS out there about beacons that are really half-truths and no truths. And it all started when people thought that, oh my gosh, if I have a beacon, I'm going to make $1 million. That's not true. Okay. Beacons, if they're moving around and the people around them are moving around, the chance of them seeing a notification is 0 and none. Because of the chance of them being in that same proximity, okay, that circle of dissemination of the Bluetooth signal is very, very short. I went to a concert, and I did this when I first started using Eddystone beacons. And I had it set up with Google Analytics, and I was sitting right in the middle of the concert, and I had the transmission power peaked. It was doing about 300 feet. The venue I was in was probably about 300 feet. So literally I was covering about 6,000 to 7,000 people inside of that radius. At the very beginning of the night, I got 2 hits, 6,000 people. Okay. During the concert, I got 0. What were people doing during the concert? When people was at the concert, what were people doing? They were paying attention to the concert. They were either videotaping, put it on Facebook Live, and or shooting pictures. Okay, they were not concerned about their notifications. So I sat there and I was kind of like, man, I wonder why people aren't seeing these. And then it dawned on me, they're not looking. Okay, they had no reason to look. So when the concert was over, I sat there for about 30 minutes, and lo and behold, what do people start doing when they're getting ready when they're finished with one thing and they're getting ready to do another, they check their phones and they check their notifications. And so in that 30-minute time, I had about 237 hits on my website. Now, when I got up and left, those notifications go away. They don't keep those notifications any longer unless they're walking right behind me and I'm going to my car and I'm leaving and they're following me down the road. Then they may get that notification. But the minute that we're outside of that 300-foot radius, those notifications are gone. It's over. When you're walking around with a beacon, you're probably not going to get a lot of hits. Now, I take my beacons to restaurants all the time, and I always get anywhere from 2 to 10 hits on my beacon, depending on where I'm at. I was at a casino, and when I was at that casino, and it was really funny, and I actually called Kenny, a friend of mine, and told him about it. I was sitting next to a table with about 20 women who were celebrating a birthday party at the casino. As I was sitting there, they were looking, you could hear the notifications coming over their phones. And one of the girls said, "Hey, what is this?" And another person said, I don't know. What are you talking about? She said, "It says beaconfunnels.com. What is that?" And of course, now they're all looking at their phones, and I hear them all asking, "I don't know what that is. It's on my phone too. Where did it come from?" Well, I'm getting tickled, and I literally start laughing out loud. And I'm starting to get tickled because now everybody at that table is looking at the notification because one person said, "Hey, what is this?" And they were all I was sitting there watching my live analytics. They were all clicking on it and looking at it. And of course, they could have cared less about beacon funnels. But in that instance, they were sitting there. They were looking at it. They were getting notifications via Facebook. They pull down their notifications. They see them, and they saw that notification. And she clicked on it to see what it was. And it kind of started that little firestorm. If she wouldn't have done that, nobody at that table would have seen my notification. Okay. Beacons are for someone who is going somewhere to conduct business. Let's take a presenter, a network marketer. Okay, someone in the network marketing industry. And there are a lot of people out there selling BS to network marketers. I'm going to tell you right now, I've heard it all. Okay, put this in your pocket and you're going to get 50 people sign up to your organization. That's BS. Okay, that's BS. Now, what you want to do is when you go do a show or you go do a presentation somewhere, and it's a live presentation and you've got 50 people in the room, you want that beacon sitting right there on that front of that table. And as I'm making that presentation, I want to let everybody know, hey, just check your notifications and you can go right to my site or wherever you're sending them to. Check my notifications and you can watch a special video. Check the notifications and you can join my list and I can stay in contact with you. Whatever it is, whatever action, for every action, there's a reaction. Whatever call to action they give, then they're going to, but to put that in your pocket and go walking down the streets and expecting to get 50 people to sign up to your organization, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The events, they have these large events like the Consumer Electronics Show and those kind of things. Those are great places for beacons. Why? Because everybody in there's got one, and they advertise when people walk in the door. Check your notifications so that you can see our presenters' information. So, walking around with a beacon in your pocket, not so much, not so much. In that market, and I can tell you because I talk to these people every day. Okay, they want to know. They're calling me, asking me why their stuff don't work. That market is going to be very ticked off here in just a few months when they realize that they spent a ton of money for something that did not work. So if you don't have a store, You still got to be somewhere stationary long enough for someone to get the information. So, and that's just the way it is. It's the people who have gone out and destroyed the beacon market before anybody ever understood it, and they took advantage of people. Shame on them, but their day will come. Their day will come. Beacons are put together for proximity marketing. Proximity meaning the area that you are currently in. It doesn't mean that I can walk down the street and expect everybody I walk by to see my notification. I'll use Ed Beds, for example. He bought a ton of beacons from a stick them out there and they will come company. Okay. A bunch of them. He was spending several $100s a month for them. Okay. And the reason he found me on the internet and he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm not getting anything." And I said, "Well, where are your beacons at?" And I knew exactly what he was going to say. He said, I've put them on the light poles on the busiest street out here. And I want you to think about this for a minute. I mean, you folks are smart. You're here for a reason. You're business people and you're smart. Okay. A car that's driving down the street at 30 miles per hour with his windows rolled up, his radio going, the air conditioner on, he's not thinking about picking up his phone to see if there's a notification on a light pole. It's not happening. All right. You may get one or two that check it while they're at the red light, but the chance of them pulling around and going to your business is few and far between. Okay. So if you're looking for a program that's, it's just, there's the difference between my company and companies out there is I'm here to help businesses to grow, not to just make money for the sake of, I've got plenty of money. I don't need to make money for the sake of making money. I can promise you, I don't need to do that. Okay. I didn't need to get into the beacon business, but it intrigues me so much. And I know what this can do to help businesses. And I know what you folks can do to go out and help businesses. So, but that's just the way it works. And then we've got our analytics down here. Analytics are extremely important. I hope that answered your question. I didn't mean to run around the block on that. And obviously this guy doesn't have any analytics because his beacon's not hooked up, but I'm using him as a case study and he knows that. So I'm going to be able to share with you. I mean, we're going to be I'm going to help him launch his Facebook campaign and the whole 9 yards. So you guys will be able to see live what a campaign looks like and how it works and how things are going. Like I say, he's got about 12 clients a month, 12 customers a month now. We're going to get that down to 12 to 30 customers a week. And I'm very excited about that. So any questions here? Any questions on the dashboard at all? Any questions on the markdown? This is the most questions I get right here is on the markdown cards. Each card has its own beacon. Remember that? All right. Well, we're going to get out a little bit earlier tonight. I like to keep it to an hour. I try not to put too much in so it overblows your mind. What's today, Tuesday? I've got a training webinar tomorrow night for another company that I'm committed to. I've been doing that for 5 years. Thursday, I'm going to the State Fair of Texas, and I'll be going all day long just to get away from work for a day. And Friday night, if you're not doing anything and you're not out having a good time, I'm going to be sitting at home bored. So I'm going to do a training on setting up a Facebook page, setting up a campaign, a local campaign, and we're going to do, and I'll use Ed Beds as a demonstration. We'll stick with Ed, and a great guy, military guy, and think the world of it. So, any questions at all? Our next training will be Friday night, 7 o'clock probably. And is 7 o'clock a good time for you folks? Everybody that's here is coming in at 7 o'clock, a good time for training. I know some of you are on Vegas. I don't know what time it is, Mountain Time or West Coast time. Some of you are on East Coast time. I'm right here in the middle. I'm in Texas, so I'm in Central Time. But all right, well, we'll see everybody on. Let me change this screen here real quick, and we will see everybody on Friday night. I will send out a link and post that, and we will make everything happen. So everybody have a great evening. Have a good day tomorrow. And I'll tell everybody the same thing. The only way you're going to make sales is get off your butt and go make sales. People just don't come to you. So I've got a good friend, Christy Brown, and she always thanks me. She wrote me the nicest letter for telling her to get off her butt. And Christy is very, very successful. Very, very successful. All right. God bless. Good night. And I will see everybody on Friday night.